Welcome to Scandal Water,
where we cover the stories that have captivated the entertainment world.
I'm Candy, a longtime educator and community theater actress.
And I'm Ashley, a writer and co-founder of a local theater group.
We're two friends who share a love of entertainment.
From true crime docuseries, to blockbuster movies, to classic TV, to Broadway shows, and everything in between.
Each week, I share a compelling story related to pop culture.
And I chime in using my trivia junkie brain.
We stick to the facts until it's time to settle into our armchairs at the end.
Then we're simply two women with a strong cup of tea and even stronger opinions.
We're Scandal Water.
And if this sounds like your cup of tea,
follow the show on your favorite podcast app or the Scandal Water Podcast YouTube channel.
Oh, it's that time of day. Tune in and hear what the ladies say. It's time to bend your ear when the silver screen appears. Stories about the stage and screen and everything in between. So come on and join the fun. The curtain opens in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Ashley.
hello, Candy.
Ready for some fun today?
I am ready for some spontaneous fun.
You guys, we got a wild hair today.
We did.
We did. We decided we were going to do something special
And
for
spontaneous.
Yes, for our holiday episode, a variety. You know, sometimes we like to pull out just a random variety episode. And so we decided we had not had a fun field trip in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, wouldn't it be fun? You know, we like to support local as well. We decided we would go to Frankfort and have a Christmas in the capital episode, if you will.
Absolutely.
Yes. Ashley, do you want to explain how we approach this?
Yeah, well, obviously, we're back in the studio now, so we're going
Right.
to kind of narrate our day. We've already had the adventure. It was this morning, and we're going to kind of take you through what happened. And as we're driving to Frankfort, we felt, where is the first place that we could go where they would be able to tell us where we should experience this Christmas? And I knew about the Grand Theater, which is an old historic theater in Kentucky. It shows movies, and I think you can also do live theater there. So we stopped by those offices, and we spoke to Sheila, who was
delightful.
fantastic.
So friendly and warm.
And dressed so snazzily.
She was.
She
had
looked
some
amazing.
sassy red shoes that I loved.
She did. We didn't get a soundbite with her, but she told us about all these amazing places to eat, and she put us in contact with
Suzy. Yes.
who we got to talk to when we were at the restaurant. So the first clip you're going to hear is the Main Street Diner is where we went for lunch. Amazing food. I had the turkey club and fries. I gobbled it up like I had not eaten all day, which I hadn't. So it was delicious. What
Mine
did you
was
have?
good too. And they were kind enough to do a special order for me. It wasn't
Yeah.
on the menu. I wanted a burger, and I just happened to ask, well, do you do Swiss cheese and sauteed mushrooms? And they were like, sure, we can do that for you.
She said, we can. I was like,
Yes.
this lady, yes.
I know.
So it was delicious. And you're going to hear a little bit from Megan, the owner of the
Main Street Diner.
I am Megan Allan. I am one of the owners of Main Street Diner in downtown Frankfort, Kentucky.
Can you tell us a little bit about your diner?
Yes, ma'am. We are a locally owned business, family-owned business, located right in the heart of Frankfort, Kentucky. We do breakfast all day. All of our meats are hand-cut in-house. We provide fresh, local produce to all of our meals.
Can you tell me, how did you land on the design for your diner? Because it looks like a diner. We're like in a 1950s diner.
Yeah, actually it was my husband's design or idea. We wanted something kind of authentic to be downtown. A lot of your downtown businesses or downtown places have diners kind of like this, and we thought Frankfort needed something like this. So
Well, we just had a lovely meal here. We love the atmosphere, but we do wonder, we understand that tomorrow night is when everything's going to light up, and so if anyone comes to this area for Christmas time, how will it be different? As a business that's located right here on the main strip, how is Christmas different?
Oh, Christmas is definitely different in our downtown. There's a lot more of the tourists that come in. But it's a 3-day event that we have with the Candlelight Tour. We have a lot of kid events, kid activities. They have horse carriage rides. A lot of the local vendors will come on down too. We have Santa and Mrs. Claus that'll pop in. They like stopping by the diner as well, so they'll say hi to all of our customers that come in. But it's just a great tradition. We also have the train that'll come through too. Santa will be on there as well, and that's always a big event. A lot of people like to come and see. You know, it brings a lot of people into our town and everything.
I'm going to guess your little Main Street diner sees a lot of business through the Christmas season.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, we sure do. We get a lot of the tourists where we have Buffalo Trace right down the road from us. We do get a lot of them. So we see a lot of the bourbon goers, whether it's before or after their trip. And we do send them to all the other local distilleries here in town. So we're all just like a big knit family. We all help each other out and everything.
So last question, if somebody comes to eat here, what should they order? What dish are you known for?
That's a good one. For lunch, we have our Main Street burger, which is a unique type of burger. It's a grilled cheese burger with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, and it has our special Main Street sauce on there, just kind of a tangy kind of sauce. Everybody seems to really love that. And then like for breakfast, where we do it all day, people like to really enjoy that. Our pancakes, French toast, different things like that. And of course our steak and eggs and pork chop and eggs too go over really well.
I love how Megan shared so many great things, not only about her restaurant, but also about the Candlelight event.
Yes. The unfortunate thing is that once this airs, it's already over.
The special event is over, but they still will have the town lit up. There will still be special festivities that will be going on, just not that
the
particular
3-day,
event.
Yeah, not the 3-day Candlelight event. But it sounds like it's something that happens yearly. So if you would like to plan ahead, which we just happened upon it. Like we said, we were being very spontaneous and we were like, oh, wow, this is this weekend. That's amazing. But what I also forgot to say, it's a diner. It looks like a diner. It's got the black and white checkered floor. It's got records on the wall.
Yes,
it's got a
very
lot of the
cute.
It's so cute, so retro looking, and I loved the food there. I thought it was delicious. And I thought how cool that they'll just make whatever you want.
I know. That was
really nice.
That was really cool. Well, and while we were there, I love a small town.
I do too.
I love a small town. It did feel a bit like, this came up several times. You guys are going to hear references to this. Comparisons were made between the town we were in, Frankfort, to a Hallmark movie or a Hallmark town. And I saw elements of that
I did
because
too.
here we are sitting in this little Main Street diner and suddenly Suzy comes to find us.
Yes.
Remember, we told you that we met Sheila back at the Grand Theater, and she had so kindly tracked down Suzy for us. And Suzy comes looking for us and sits down with us and shares all kinds of information, points us in several directions. In fact, we're just going to let you hear what Suzy had to say to us.
I'm Suzy Hosley. I'm the executive director for Downtown Frankfort Incorporated.
How long have you been in this position, Suzy?
So I have been with Downtown Frankfort for about 3.5 years, but before that I was with the Chamber of Commerce, the local chamber, for about 16 years.
Wow.
Yes.
You know this place
Yes,
well.
born and raised Frankfort.
Oh, I love it. Well, here we are on a day trip having a quaint Christmas in the Capitol moment.
I
So
love it.
let's say someone else has the opportunity to come here. What are a few things they should maybe check out while they're here?
I love it. So I will say that when you come into downtown Frankfort during the holidays, it truly is a Hallmark experience. So it's so charming, from the historic buildings, all the local museums here, but the shops, the downtown businesses, there's so many walkable areas to do Christmas shopping. We have some really fun swanky craft cocktail bars so you can go and warm up with that cozy beverage, do some shopping. There are fun, I guess, art experiences where you can go and paint ornament at Broadway Clay, make a wreath at the Kentucky Flower Market. So there really is a lot to do in that day at Christmas.
And if we understand correctly, every year you have a special evening where you light up the town. Could you tell us about that?
Oh, absolutely. So we have, it's a 40-year tradition of the Candlelight Weekend. It is the kickoff to the holiday season, and we start it with the big tree lighting ceremony. We have the Christmas tree on the old state capitol lawn. It's beautiful. We all come together and light that tree, and again, that starts the holiday shopping season.
I told you this is something they do every year.
Yes.
40 years.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah.
And it's our first mention of Hallmark, like we talked about.
Yes, Suzy was so articulate.
She really was.
She knew her stuff.
She did. We had a brochure with us, and she went through and she said, if you have the time, here's the places that you should hit. Here's what you're looking for. We only had a couple hours, so we couldn't hit everything. So we had to be more strategic about what we wanted to visit. But we've already decided we want to go back.
Absolutely, because I will say, I was disappointed. Suzy pointed out so many wonderful things, and we had time to visit not even half of what she recommended.
Right.
So there is a lot to do. We'll probably say this this 10 times during this episode, but we do recommend that you
Yeah.
that you go there and check it out because so much fun to be had, I'm sure.
Okay, so one of the places that Suzy pointed us to was Poor Richard's Books.
Yes.
You guys know we love a bookstore and an
Yes, we
independent
do.
bookstore. As soon as we walked in, I thought, oh, I love the smell of a bookstore. It
And
was wonderful.
And it was historic. I mean, it was
Yes.
beautiful, gorgeous place. And you guys, here we are, spontaneous field trip. We just had the best luck because we kept running into the most
owners.
lovely people.
Yes.
And yes, and at Poor Richard's, the owner was there and she was kind enough to come out and talk with us.
Yes, so here is her clip.
My name is Liz Bernoskiei, and I own Poor Richard's Books in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Which is absolutely charming. And I understand it has a long history. Could you tell us a little bit about how it all came to be?
Well, this is our candlelight time. It was in the early 80s. There were only about 5 shops that were in the downtown area. We were all scattered, but we played nice together. We coordinated things together and put out sandbag candles and closed down the streets, brought in horse-drawn carriages, and started a tradition that's lasted for more than almost 50 years now. It's changed and evolved, and now it's block after block of businesses that participate. All the restaurants, all of our retail businesses, and school kids come in, do singing performances, people wander around in costume. It's just an incredible community event, and the people that attend often comment that this is just like a Hallmark Christmas, which I hate to compare it to Hallmark Christmas because I think ours is really personal. It's not staged.
So what makes Poor Richard's stand out? What makes it special?
Well, there are very few independent bookstores in the state of Kentucky. We've been going now since 1978. We've weathered the online shopping, the big box stores, and we're still hanging in there, trying to be the core of the community, share ideas in the community, just to be essential. I feel it, and my customers are strongly tied to the bookstore. Yeah.
How did you choose the name? Is it a nod to Ben Franklin?
It is a nod to Ben Franklin because this is Frankfort, Kentucky in Franklin County. And Ben Franklin did the Poor Richard's Almanac, yes, one of the very first pieces that produced news for the community.
What gave you the idea to open a bookstore?
Oh, I have always been connected with books. When I came to Frankfort, I was here for a different position, but I was waiting for a grant to come through. In the meantime, there was this little store that needed some extra help, so I was their part-time help, and there's just so much vicarious pleasure in watching someone take a book out and know that they're going to enjoy that when they get home. So I got bitten. I did my grant job for about 5 years, and then the bookstore came up for sale, and I bought it.
So if anyone has the chance to come visit Poor Richard's over the Christmas season, what will they find here? What can they expect?
You can find a little bit of everything. We have new books. We have old books. We have lots of curated children's books. We have a school librarian that works for us, and she makes sure we're up to date on everything. We have cards, coffee, mugs, tea, all kinds of little extra things that you need in your life to cozy down and pick up your book and read.
What are your hours?
We're open 10 to 6 during the week, and on weekends we're open until 5, Saturday and Sunday.
I'll say it again. It was so serendipitous.
It was.
Here we are without any planning, just
Yes.
showing up. These
Yes.
people didn't know to expect us.
Yeah.
And we had the most lovely interactions. Liz was delightful. We stood and talked with her even after we turned off the recorder. And we were talking about the history. The building itself, just gorgeous. And she started telling us about finding there had been a fire a long time ago, and she talked about underneath the stucco seeing like a charred piece of wood. You complimented the ladders. They had wooden ladders like you see in the old movies, and they'd found those and taken those from an old shoe store that had shut down. I mean, it just went on. And then she was talking about, giving us all this history of the building, and one of her workers hands her a photo. They had a photo of what it looked like prior to that. We took a picture. Liz was kind enough to let us take a picture of her holding that that photo. I mean, it was just delightful.
And I liked how she talked about the pleasure that she gets when someone picks up a book that she knows that they're going to love.
Yes.
I told her when we first started, I was like, I always wanted to own a bookstore. She's like, well, come on. So I think I could have a job if I needed one. But she was just lovely.
She absolutely was. So again, we just highly recommend you go to all these places. But I like how she brought out, in a way, they're kind of a dying breed, right? I mean, we have to support our local independent business owners, and in this case, our independent booksellers.
Absolutely.
So, well, after we left Poor Richard's, we actually headed to a museum. Now, this was at Suzy's recommendation.
Yes.
Because she had told us that Capital City Museum sometimes had some nice Christmassy things in their gift shop, but in particular, she pointed out that they every year would bring out a new ornament, something special for that particular Christmas season, and we decided we wanted to check it out.
My name is Roger Barlow, and I work at the Capital City Museum here in Frankfort, Kentucky. We have our special ornament for the year is Miss Elizabeth, who was the First Lady of Wrestling and a Frankfort native. You'll be able to purchase them for $25. In our gift shop, we have a special exhibit right now about her that will last at least through 2026 for the full year.
So I understand that the museum has an exclusive ornament every year.
Yes, every year we have a different special ornament. Yes.
Do you know how they're chosen?
What they did for many years was the lost buildings of Frankfort, buildings that are no longer with us. However, we've moved beyond that now. And
Eva Napier. I'm the Culture and Arts Coordinator here at the Capital City Museum. There's a committee that helps to decide what icon of Frankfort gets chosen for the year. So last year it was the St. Clair Mall strip, which is kind of an iconic brick street that looks down onto the old state capitol. So like a very iconic scene. So moving on to our new exhibit, and who knows what it'll be next year.
Sure.
It looks like this is the first time you've chosen a person. Yes?
Yes.
So that's pretty significant that it's Miss Elizabeth.
Yes.
So we got quite the history lesson
We did.
when we went there. I had no idea about Miss Elizabeth, but she was the first lady of wrestling, as we were told. She was married to Macho Man Randy Savage for a little bit.
Yes.
Then she married a lawyer for a brief stint, and then she remarried a wrestler, which, as Roger told us, was a huge mistake. But and she's buried in the cemetery at Frankfort. But this is the first time, with all the luminaries that are in Frankfort, this is the first time they've chosen a person. Usually they have buildings, like he said,
Right.
and it's Miss Elizabeth, and she is fantastic looking.
I'm going to say it was a fun ornament.
It really
If I had more of a history with wrestling, I
Yeah.
would be like, I'm getting this ornament.
Yeah, so-
it's very pretty.
For our friends who enjoy pro wrestling, you might be interested in this ornament.
Or history. Because that goes back to what we were saying. They have an exhibit about her in their museum. You heard Roger mention that because she's from Frankfurt. There's a whole history piece there. So lots of interesting information. He mentioned that you can still go to the museum and check out that exhibit through the start of next year. And if you're interested in picking up that ornament, again, it's exclusive. It will be gone.
It
so,
will be gone. And
yeah.
from the looks of that ornament, it is going to be gone.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It really was beautiful.
And we got a photo of Roger with the ornament that we'll share.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, one more place we visited. Yes. After we left there, we decided we were going to a place that I believe is nationally known.
I think so.
I know I've traveled different places and I've even seen this particular product in airports.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm pretty positive. So, guys, we decided to go take a tour at the Rebecca Ruth Candy Kitchens. Yes, this was really interesting because we not only had a chance to watch the candy making process there, but we also learned a little bit about the history, and then we had a little surprise. We'll tell you
Yes,
about
we
that in
did.
just a second. So, should we start with the history first?
Yeah, start with the history.
Okay, I wrote down a few notes, but before I start sharing those, do you want to just share a couple of impressions that you had from the visit?
I thought that it was so interesting because it all seemed like it was homegrown. And I thought it was so fascinating that they packaged them by hand.
Yes.
As, like you said, this is a nationally known brand. I would have expected a machine to be packaging the candies, but it was done by hand.
Yeah.
And that just added such a personal flair to me.
Yeah, it's interesting that we were looking at this business that on the one hand still felt very family owned, homegrown, family operated, but yet we could see elements of it that were definitely, what would you call it, higher tech or higher
absolutely.
marketing. Super interesting. Well, I think you guys are going to find this as fascinating as we did. Let me give you just a few highlights. Basically, the background of Rebecca Ruth. Rebecca Ruth Candy, that's the official title, was founded in 1919 by actually two ladies.
Yes.
Ruth Hanley Booe, that's who we're talking about, and her friend Rebecca Gooch. They were actually substitute school marms.
I thought that was
the
so
title
cool.
they gave them.
School marms.
School marms who did not really enjoy being
School
substitute
marming. They did not want a
marms.
school marm.
Yes. They decided they would rather do something else. And these two women had actually gotten a lot of feedback for their great candies that they knew how to make. You guys, this is before women had the right to vote.
They started a
They
business.
started this business. And that was one of the reasons why instead of doing what they normally did at that time, in businesses, you would use your last name.
Yeah.
They bucked the system again, you know.
And use their first names.
They used
I
their
loved
first
that.
name. Me too. Every bit of this. I'm telling you.
We were
it
all
was
over it.
inspirational. It really was. So the very first place they call it their first storefront, was the Old Frankfort Hotel. The owner of the hotel, because it was prohibition, they weren't using the bar room. So
They said, here, you can have that.
Yes, they were like, go ahead, ladies, sell your candy. So they started selling from the Old Frankfort Hotel, but here's something else that is super cool. This is before refrigeration, or at least they didn't have access to it. So these women had purchased a marble bar top from the burned out Old Capitol Hotel at auction for $10 in 1917. So they are using this with their candy making, okay?
Because it cools it.
Yeah, this is going to come back later, okay? Remember the marble, all right? Now, they're now selling this. Here's something that helped their business. Even though it was untrue, rumors began circulating that the girls were soaking the nuts and fruits in liquor and selling liquor-laced chocolates from this bar room.
During Prohibition.
During Prohibition. Not true, but a lot of people decided to buy some chocolate, which helped their business.
I think that's so funny.
I do too. So it goes on. Time passes. Ruth gets married in 1924. She actually has a baby in 1927. Sadly, her husband passed not long after.
8 months after the baby was born.
Yeah, I mean, very tragic. Meanwhile, Rebecca got married in 1929, and that was a big development because Rebecca decided she was ready to step out at that point. So she sold her portion of the candy shop to Ruth. So from this point on, Ruth owns this.
It's just all hers.
It's just hers, although the name remains the same. So we go on through the stock market crashes, the Depression, the candy making continues, although they take a huge hit. And then in 1933, when Rebecca's son John was 6 years old, he comes home one day from school, riding the trolley, and sees smoke. It's his own house on fire. Rebecca lost everything. Now, here's a quote from the pamphlet they give you when you visit. It says, "The fire destroyed everything except Ruth's spirit. She lost all of her equipment and possessions. Some men had dragged her marble table out of the charred shambles."
Marble tabletop.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. John watched as his mother smoothed her hand over the soot-covered surface of her marble and overheard her choke through tears. "If this marble can survive 2 fires, surely I can survive 1.
I'm telling you, when that quote hit on the video,
I know.
I was just like, what is my problem? What is my problem? What is my problem? I sat myself down in that moment. I said, what is your problem?
I mean, it
This
was
lady
so
was
inspirational.
so inspirational.
Oh, but it gets better.
Oh,
it gets better.
yes.
Because she goes to the bank. This is a successful businesswoman.
Had it for 14 years at this point.
And she's raising a child by herself, and she goes to the bank to try to get a loan to start her business back up.
They said no.
No, she wanted $50.
That's it.
She wanted to get a loan for $50. They were like, no, because you're a woman.
No, because you're a woman and you don't have a husband or father. And I would go,
Right.
my husband is gone. That's why I'm here.
And do you remember how they said it? You don't have a husband or a father to help make sure you know how to spend your money well, right? How you manage your money. So she ends up going down to the Old Frankfort Hotel where she had sold her candy. Remember, that was her first storefront. And she runs into a hotel housekeeper.
I want to know more about this situation.
I know. This housekeeper had the name Fanny Rump. Interesting name. But it says in the brochure, Fanny was a spinster with no children to support, and she decided to loan Ruth her life's savings,
Which was $50.
$50.
This is like a Hallmark movie.
It really is. Ruth bought new equipment, and she was able to pay Fanny back with interest in just a few months.
That's amazing.
I know. And I'm just like, girl, you go. All right. So we are passing through time here. Obviously, we go through war. We go through all kinds of things. I'll just hit one or two highlights. The Bourbon Ball, the very famous Bourbon Ball, came about in 1938. Little story about that coming up here in just a minute. All right. Post-war, again, we survive, the business expands, but I will just mention that Ruth worked in the candy business from 1919 to 1964.
Wow.
Okay. She passed away in 1973. Ruth had remained close friends with Rebecca Gooch, and they saw each other daily right up until the end. Now, her son was the one who took over. John Booe took over and ran the company from 1964 to 1997, and then he sold the company to his son, Charles, in 1997. And of course, I think before the transitions happened, you would have already had the other ones working in
Yes,
working in the business. Again, serendipity. Tell them what happened, Ashley.
We were there, we finished our tour, and we said, does anyone happen to be here who is the owner here? And they're like, actually, I think he is. And they found him.
They tracked him down. They're like,
I think he's wandering around somewhere. We're going to find him. And they worked. It wasn't just they tried and said, well, we can't find him. Sorry about your luck. They tracked him down. And and he came and talked to us and was so kind. So kind, so warm and friendly. Again, his name is Charles, and you're about to hear him now.
Hi, I'm Charles Booe with Rebecca Ruth Candies. I'm the current owner, third generation.
Can you tell us a little bit about the company?
Well, we started in 1919 and we're noted for inventing the bourbon ball. And we're in our fourth generation of family business now. And we make hundreds of different chocolates, and they're all wonderful.
What was she like as a person?
Well, she was a business person, so she worked a lot. And when I saw her, she was just grandmother.
And she is Ruth of the name Rebecca Ruth, correct?
That's correct. It was founded by two different ladies, Rebecca and Ruth. Rebecca left the business in 1929. She got married and left and sold her part of the business to Ruth.
And so here we are at this lovely candy shop with a history that goes back more than 100 years. We have been talking in this entire episode about lovely Frankfort and celebrating Christmas at the Capitol. So if people were to come here for a day trip or to stay overnight, what could they find here at Rebecca Ruth's?
Well, first of all, we give tours Monday through Saturday, so you can come down and book a tour. You can book it online, or you can do a walk-in, or you can come in and just shop the chocolates. And we have lots of nice holiday things going into Thanksgiving and Christmas and so forth.
What's your favorite candy here?
Well, right this minute, my favorite is toffee. We have a wonderful milk chocolate toffee with little pieces of pecans in it. And for me, that one is right now hitting the top. However, tomorrow it'll be different.
And what is the most famous candy associated with your store?
The most famous candy at Rebecca Ruth is the bourbon ball, because my grandmother invented them in 1938 from a comment that started in 1936. Mrs. Eleanor Hume Offutt said the two best tastes in the world were Kentucky bourbon and Miss Booe's candy. And she took that idea and said, well, I'm going to combine them and make the single best piece of candy in the world.
That is a businesswoman. Did she instill you with any life lessons or anything you learned from her?
Well, there are so many. I mean, she didn't have the right to vote when she started in business, so they named the business with their first names, maternal style, because the paternal style would have been, say, Smith and Sons or what have you. But they knew that they wanted to keep the women's movement alive. They didn't have the right to vote. They got it the next year. So they were very active and so forth in those kind of pursuits. There's so many lessons. I mean, it's just amazing. So much heritage comes down in a family business like this, the traditions and the recipes and the values that we have.
So in terms of the Christmas season, what's one of your favorite things about having your business in downtown Frankfort during Christmas?
My most favorite thing about having business in downtown Frankfort at the Christmas season is getting to see all the people that I grew up with coming back to Frankfort to visit their family and getting to interact with them.
Well, first of all, I loved everything he shared.
Yeah.
It was inspirational, and I like how he pointed out that she did so much to advance
The women's movement?
Yes, not just the family business, but their own personal well-being, and but also supporting women in general, women empowerment. I love it.
And he told us off mic that his daughter is going to be the next
Yes.
one to run the company.
And she's already involved.
She's already involved.
Yes. I also want to make a correction because as I was preparing, looking through their brochure to share some of the history, their last name is spelled Booe. And so I pronounced
E.
that incorrectly. When we heard Charles speak, he immediately introduced himself, and it is Boo. So let me apologize for my mispronunciation earlier. Their last name is Boo. Okay. Well, Ashley, I think that brings us to the end of this episode.
It does. One thing I want to say, one thing I've noticed as we've re-listened to the clips back in the studio is how friendly everyone was and how willing they were to talk to people who they did not know.
Right.
They didn't know who we were, what we were doing. We just told them briefly, here's what we're doing. They're like, oh, okay, I'll talk to you. And they were just so willing and so
Absolutely.
kind. And it just restores your faith in humanity.
Yes, I'll be honest with you. When we started out on that adventure, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought, okay, this could be really great, or it could be kind of a bust. It was so much better than I even anticipated.
It really did.
Yes, and it was exactly what you said. It really had that welcoming, charming hometown feel to it. Everywhere we went, people going out of their way to welcome us, to answer our questions, to take pictures with us, to share information.
To talk off mic about some fun stuff.
Yes, they gave us their time. They gave us their energy. I mean, it was really a lovely day.
It really was. It was a lovely day full of very interesting and fun conversations and wonderful people.
Yes, I'm definitely going back.
Absolutely.
I hope you guys make it too. And meanwhile, a big cheers to all the people involved with the Candlelight event in Frankfort and those businesses in particular that we had a chance to visit. Thank you for speaking with us. Thank you for representing your community and your businesses so well. Cheers to you all.
Absolutely. Cheers.
If you love what we do, please rate and review our show or become a supporter through Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. Whether a single gift or recurring monthly donation, your support is what allows us to keep the tea brewing.
Subscribe on your favorite podcast app or the Scandal Water Podcast YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Show notes are available at our website, scandalwaterpodcast.com, where you can also access the merch store and more.
This episode was executive produced by Candy Thomas, that's me, and Ashley Raymer Brown.
That's me.
It was researched and written by Candy Thomas and edited by Ashley Raymer Brown.
A special thank you to Josh Martin, who wrote, composed, and performed the Scandal Water theme and other music. Matt C. Adams, who created the artwork, and Joshua Reith, who designed our website and provides ongoing technical support.
As a reminder, this podcast is purely for entertainment purposes. The thoughts and opinions of the host during each episode of Scandal Water are their own and do not reflect the opinions of any future guests, advertisers, or clearly professional psychologists. Thanks for listening.